take a life. Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
The owner always wanted to run away and join the circus when he was a kid. Now the son of a bitch owns the circus. Ah, man. Real license to steal.
Oh, yeah. The American dream come true, man. Pure Horatio Alger.
Yeah, welcome to the happy place.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here, man. How much for the ape?
Probably late. Oh, Friday night time. Radical lights and highly organized. It's Friday night times, Friday night times. If you're still not offended tonight, oh, Friday night times. Rest assured that the chances are high. Friday. It couldn't be any further from Friday unless you count last Friday. Then it's pretty close to Friday, but it's not Friday. Welcome, everybody, to the not Nerdrotic Nooner. Garrett can play guitar. Yes, he can, chat. Welcome, everybody. Today, we're going to be doing some squared up, going over a couple articles, doing some stuff, and we're going to lead into Fuck My Life with Ryan Kinnell and Very Dark. It's a nooner at night. I was up late streaming last night, and then we finished up a video, which took us 4 freaking days to do, which was lots of fun, talking about The Witcher 4. But before we say hi to you fine folks, let's take care of some business. Let's take care. No, Drinker did not like The Witcher season 4, and neither did I. We discussed it briefly, he and I, after our videos were done. So here we go. Today we're going to talk about it's CB Distillery. It's like CBD. You know those nights when you just don't sleep? And the next day you're dragging, exhausted, and everything just feels harder. Or maybe not. Who the hell's calling me right now? From Iowa. And the next day you're dragging, exhausted, and everything just feels harder. That's where CBD from CB Distillery can make a real difference, but it's not just sleep. CB Distillery has solutions that work with your body to help with stress, pain after exercise, even mood and focus, which I need. And it's all made with the highest quality, clean ingredients, no fillers, just premium CBD. Imagine waking up rested or enjoying your day without those nagging aches and pains. That's the real win for CB Distillery Solutions. This is a perfect sponsor for old men like me, by the way. That's why over 2 million people trust CB Distillery, including this old guy with a lot of aches and pains, probably from sitting in a chair too long recording videos and streaming. And that's why I do my 5-mile walk every day. Just got off it myself, but it doesn't mean those aches and pains go away. And yes, I actually use it quite a bit and it works. You know who else uses CBD oil? I don't know if he uses this brand. Randall Carlson. I know he does a sponsorship too. So you're ready. So if you're ready for a better sleep, less stress, and feeling good in your own skin, try CBD from CB Distillery. And right now you can save 25% off your entire purchase. Visit CB Distillery and use promo code Nerdrotic. That's cbdistillery.com, promo code Nerdrotic, cbdistillery.com. Thank you for sponsoring this. Supposed to be Nerdrotic Noon, but now it's Nerdrotic at Night. And I like this to just thank Rumble for being very cool with the constant scheduling changes, but that's what we kind of talked about. That's what we talked about. I said, I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. Yes, we do scheduled streams a lot, and it's a miracle I make as many as I do, but other stuff comes up quite a bit, like making videos, which is the priority for my channel. So that's why we often change stuff and have to cancel Forbidden Frontiers. Sorry. We're going to try to make up for it. Oh God, X-Ray Girl's gone. I think sometime during the week. I can't remember which day, but we are going to make up for it this week. We'll let you know. See, let's see who's here. JDG, Lex Ludendi, Psychotic Mongoose, Dana Does Stuff, Aldrich, Michael Billington, the Canadian Zeus, Zane Adam, Woogie Boo Beautiful. It went away before I could finish your very long name. Sula Felix, Malcolm Campbell, Epic Ace Studios. So, hey, what's up, Trish Page? So your names are coming up normal now. YouTube told me that they were going to permanently go to the @name thing, but they just haven't. And it's been months, right? When did they start this? Like 6 months ago? What's up, Grim? Jose Taco, the Upward Spiral. Laughing Man is not here, everybody. So don't pay attention to Laughing Man because he said, I am not here. Mr. Blue Sky. Great song. Fraulein Sausage Ball. Fraulein Sausage Ball. What's up, Lady Greenmaster? What did you just put in here now? From The Guardian. After 7 years, Netflix Fantasy, the actor has cast a final spell. She talks about her, the genre's toxic fans, welcomes new boy Liam Hemsworth to the cast, and what sorcery really sounds like. Oh boy. The thing I didn't mention in my video, but I meant to, is one thing. I tried to rush this video out because in about a week and a half, The Witcher season 4 will be a fart in the wind, but a memory. Everybody will have forgotten about it. And in about 6 months' time, when people go, hey, there's a Witcher season 5 coming out because they filmed them back to back, they go, wait a minute. When did Witcher 6 come out? Or Witcher season 4 come out? I completely forgot. And you're going to completely forget. That's what happens when you have the binge model. The binge model. It can actually act, it could be a benefit for Netflix, who knew this was a piece of shit, released one trailer for it. One. Uno. Movie Erotic says, I am here. That's good. So one trailer and one clip. So Netflix knows it's a turd. Netflix knows is a turd. Now, I've seen some people say, well, it's not as bad as season 2 or season 3. Yes, it is. And I'll tell you why it is. It's got, and they go, and the cope is, well, the writing is still shit, but there's more action. Who gets the action? Does Geralt get the action? No. Yennefer gets the action. But the rats being in an entire season makes it the worst without question. Sure, there's a happy ending. They all get brutally murdered. It's great. But you're not supposed to be happy. Yennefer swinging a sword, all the mages swinging swords and learning how to do it in like an afternoon. And then Vesemir dying for all of them. And remember, they were hinting at the Wild Hunt all through season 3. None of you remember because you didn't watch it, and I don't blame you. Not a peep of it. Not a peep of it in the show. So yeah, we did a review. Hertz Donut says, I like happy endings. Hashtag me too, buddy. Me too. What's she talking about? Toxic fans here. Hang on. It is the Yennefer actress. Oh, fuck off, Guardian. Oh, it's awfully long. It's awfully long. I don't know if I want to go. Oh my God. There's no way. Maybe we can go over it on real BBC. That's a little bit too long. That's what she said. That's what she said. Un momento. Gary, you have to bring on Ryan George onto your chat one day. Ryan George, hang on. Oh, okay. Barely an inconvenience. I don't know if I'd love to talk to him. It'd be great. It'd be fantastic. It'd be fantastic. No Forbidden Frontier. Well, Forbidden Frontier was canceled. Somebody was asking. It was canceled yesterday, and we'll make it up during the week. So what do we got here? YouTube. Is it going to restore ABC? Don't care. Oh wow, really? Holy shit. All right. This is interesting. This is interesting. There we go. Axed fan favorite Disney streaming series. Was it a fan favorite? It's a Disparu favorite. Cost $17 million per episode. A cut price streaming series based on beloved franchise with a fervent fan base sounds like a dream ticket, which could run for season after season, not for Disney. Filings released by the studio this week reveal that the total net cost of its sword and sorcery streaming series Willow came to $136.63 million, giving it an average price tag of just $17 million across each of its 8 episodes, which premiered in November of 2022. It is a staggering 45.3% cheaper than the Disney Marvel Studios streamer show Secret Invasion, and a 27.3% less than its Star Wars streaming series The Acolyte. Remarkably, Willow only cost around 20% more per episode than Gary Oldman's spy drama Slow Horses, which lacks lavish visual effects and has a run of 5 seasons so far. So why do you think they not only canceled Willow, it's been erased? Well, for one, you got Freckle Jesus there. Everything she's in is poison. Absolutely poison. They tried to make this girl happen, and sometimes you think they grow them at Disney. Sometimes you think, but she really defines the era of forced diversity, and I couldn't tell you why they decided to put her in Willow, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, and Solo. She is the kiss of death, this one. And she plays essentially the same fucking character. Tough, but resourceful, lesbian-ish type of character. Yeah, I can't imagine why Disney got rid of this show. Problem is, Willow doesn't have a huge fan base. It just doesn't. I would say Willow's fan base would be probably around as big as Tron's. So it's not a big fan base. You have a probably passionate built-in fan base that's not that big, relatively speaking. And Willow without Val Kilmer, who gives a shit? Disbrew. I know Disbrew does. However, despite Willow's impeccable cost control, $17 million an episode for this dog shit, and you call it impeccable cost control. I hope you're being sarcastic. Disney brought the curtain down on the show just after one season. That's not all. It was one of nearly 50 titles pulled from Disney Plus streaming platform in May of 2023, angering Warwick Davis, who gives a commanding performance as the eponymous sorcerer. Well, Warwick, I'm sorry, your show came up short. I'm sorry your show came up short. Writing on X last year, he posted a photo of himself on the Willow set with the caption, "It's a travesty that Disney Plus values shareholders over subscribers in their creative decision making." I think it is a travesty that Disney values shareholders over customers. That's just a sad state of life. The problem is there weren't enough customers to satisfy the shareholders. And I've got my own beef with Disney shareholders. I think they're low information morons. But hashtag just saying, I only ever saw each episode once. He had previously called the removal of the series embarrassing. Maybe the series was embarrassing. Saying on X that he meets lovely people on a daily basis who are fans of Willow and who are the reason that Disney Plus series was made. Addressing his message, Disney said, "Listen, little guy. No. What do I say to these subscribers when they ask why they can't watch the series anymore? You say it failed miserably because it was terrible." He wasn't exaggerating about the appeal of the show, which critics awarded at 84%. Oh, those critics. On the aggregate Rotten Tomatoes, a 32% point increase on the 1988 Lucasfilm movie it was based on. Showing you how corrupt and stupid Rotten Tomatoes is. Also called Willow. Its characters were created by Star Wars founder George Lucas. The streaming series was developed by executive producer Jonathan Kasdan, whose father Lawrence, so a Nepo baby, whose father Lawrence wrote The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. I would leave this out, The Force Awakens, and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Body Heat. Don't forget. So, hey, guys, it only cost $17 million. Disney shouldn't have got rid of it. And Disbrew absolutely agrees with all of you. He's like, yeah, fuckers, give me season 2. And I'm with him. Bring it back. Give us a season 2. Give us a season 2 of She-Hulk. Give us a season 2 of The Acolyte. Oh my God, I'd love that. Give us a season 2 of Ironheart. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Let's go. I would love to put a second story on my pool. I don't care if it's impossible. I don't care. Some men just want to see the world burn. Listen, if it's gonna burn, Fräulein Sausage Ball might as well have a laugh doing it. But it's not the world burning, it's Disney burning, which I'm gonna be real. I am fine with that. I have never made that a secret. I don't like them as a company. I think the world would be better off without them if they sold off their wares and went out of business. I don't give a fuck about Disneyland anymore. I don't give a fuck about Disney World. Listen, I grew up going to Disneyland 2 to 3 times a year. Every year since I was 6. Took some time off while I was, drugged out and homeless. But then even I managed like once a year, once every couple of years going up there, fucking wasted and homeless. Y'all remember anybody from SoCal back in the 80s? Y'all remember Disneyland back in the 80s when they had the club, when they had the nightclub, and they banned people for having mohawks and stuff. Now, it's a different time because they should ban people who have blue hair and fucking mohawks. But back when they were cool, they used to ban us. And we would this little skylift thing would get so loaded up there. Woo! Disneyland in the 80s was fucking crazy. It was crazy. Now it's I could care less. The big news is, and it's freaking everybody out, is Warner Brothers being for sale, and a lot of questions are being asked, and a lot of good ones. And honestly, the best case scenario, I don't think the union should block this one. The best case scenario would be Paramount. Paramount buying Warner Brothers is your best case scenario. Hollywood, it's all bad anyway, but it will guarantee that pretty much the same amount of movies will be released in movie theaters. They just had the worst weekend for movies in quite some time this past weekend, and it's not going to get any better. The theaters are going to be starving. The only big movies coming out are Wicked, Zootopia 2, and Avatar, which is pretty much the last couple of weeks of the year. This time of year, there's supposed to be a major tentpole coming out pretty much from Thanksgiving on, and there isn't. Honestly, Stranger Things coming out is, to me, bigger than all that shit, even stupid Avatar. But that's long in the tooth, too. Next year is going to be kind of loaded. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming out. I don't think it will be good. I think Project Hail Mary has the best chance of being a good movie next year. I'm really looking forward to that one. It's a fun book. And then all the other stuff I want to see is on streaming. One Piece, Gentleman, possibly Mobland. I guess superhero movies, Spider-Man Brand New Day will probably be pretty good. But Night of the Seven Kingdoms, House of the Dragon. And of course, the Rings of Power will come out next year. And see, the brutal thing about watching The Witcher was I watched it all in a day. I watched it all in one day. Took my studious notes, had my notebook out. Well, it's actually this with my pink highlighter because it's gay. And I had a fucking headache when I was done. Now, it's probably because I watched, almost 8 hours of streaming straight. It's not necessarily good for you, but I had a gnarly migraine when I was done. I was like, oh. So, fuck that show. But at least with Rings of Power, it'll be weekly. AC/DC's going on tour. God, somebody's gonna break AC/DC. They're getting kind of old. They're getting kind of old. Sorry, I'm reading the chat. That's terrible. Bon Scott is better than Brian Johnson. It's true. Nothing against Brian Johnson. I like him, but Bon Scott era AC/DC is unmatched. No, like I do enjoy what I do. So like sitting down and watching The Witcher, like for one, it was great to have something to cover, good or bad. And I do enjoy it, but man, did I oof. Oh. The only good part was fucking Leo Bonhart coming out, and I was like, God damn, it's such, I wish they put that character in something else because he's so good. It's so jarring because he's legit good, like fucking great in it. And you're like, whoa, I'm getting whiplash here. I'm used to shit like Lawrence Fishburne, who I love, right? Everybody likes Lawrence Fishburne. But as I pointed out in the video, I mean, here's what they made him. I didn't make up this trope, by the way. Hollywood did. Is that clip gone now? It can't be gone. There it is.
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
They race swapped Regis and made him a magical knee. They did. He's there just to support the White Wolf. Oh, God. And he plays the part fine. But most of you aren't going to watch it. He narrates the entire story and he narrates all of Geralt's motivations. And it's funny. And it's funny. But I can't undersell, and we talked about it on FNT. Ciri is a lesbian doing lesbian stuff. And I mean, not the good not the hub lesbian stuff, the boring romantasy lesbian stuff. Every fucking episode for long periods of time. This loving relationship between race-swapped Missile and Ciri. And by the end, everybody's after Ciri, and I just want Ciri to die. I'm like, it's a better option to just let her go. Let her go. Yeah, no scissoring. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And they even sit Geralt out like an entire episode of his own fucking show. So Yennefer can battle. So what it felt like was dated. It definitely feels like a product of 2022. And Lauren Hissrich should count her money, save her money, thank her lucky stars that she hooked up a virtue signal deal with Netflix in a time where they were passing out money to fools just to look good. And those days are over. They cut the series short. She will never get a deal like that again. She will be forever known as the woman who killed the Witcher. And this was a layup. And if you want to venture away from the books with the Witcher, I'm all for it. I don't think they're that great. They progressively get worse. The best one is The Last Wish, in my opinion. I like Blood of Elves too, but they progressively get worse. And all you had to do was have The Witcher, Henry Cavill of The Witcher, fight a monster of the week, and then you bring in Leo Barnhart and have him be the big bad. And you could have gone forever. But they had like musical shit in this, and it was lesbian Ciri and gay Yasker and girl boss Yennefer, and it like the actress playing Yennefer does not look like Yennefer at all, but she did a good job. But they made her so fucking annoying as time went on. Same with Siri. Like Siri did I can't remember her name, Freya Allen or whatever. Did a good job in the first season. And I just can't stand any of them. I can't stand Geralt. And then you see like Graham McTavish and James Purfoy in that. And you're like, what are you guys doing fucking around in this show? Ava Green would have been a very good Yennefer. You're right. I mean, she's old, but she's still like, she looks good. Oh, well. So they finished, season 5 is completed. It's in post. So they shot it. They're going to dump it. It's done. The Witcher's dead, like I should said in my video, and it ain't coming back. It ain't coming back. And now they're working on The Witcher 4, which is going to be a game about Ciri. And I just don't care. So what I recommend everybody, all the bummed out Witcher fans, there is a book series that The Witcher, like in some iconography and in look and some terms definitely borrowed from, but I would say not as much as George R. Martin borrowed from. So if you want to know where the Targaryens came from, if you want to know where the White Wolf came from, there's a book called Elric by Michael Moorcock. That's his name. I didn't make it up. One of the best fantasy book series ever written. He's still alive. Those books stand there. Some of them are very old, but they 60s, but they stand up better than anything. And if you read those, you're going to go, oh, that's where George got that. And that's where Andrei Sapkowski got that. So if you're looking for a fantasy book series that you haven't read, that's been around, there's some great comic adaptations out there. And you know, it's easy to find the books. You can go to probably half price books and get the paperbacks for nothing. And they're not phone book fantasy. It's something you can read in an afternoon. So the chat agrees. Elric is phenomenal. And it's tragic. He's got a sword that fucking steals souls and works against them. Yeah. Yes, James Hurley. Actually, I had known of Elric forever. But it didn't click with me when I was younger. But we're going on 8 years ago. I watched a Razor Fist video. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna buy this shit. And I dove in to the ocean and drowned in the wonderfulness that is Elric. If you want, go check out Razor Fist has 2 or 3 videos on Elric that are kind of like, will get you interested in it. Doesn't spoil anything, get you interested in it. And now my son's into it. And if you ask like, why hasn't it been optioned for a show? Well, Ralph Bakshi wanted to do an animated Elric which would have been fucking awesome. And he hasn't been able to get a deal because it's too similar to things like The Witcher and Game of Thrones, even though it precedes them and laid the groundwork for all of them. So basically, the Valerians, the Targaryens, the Empire of the Dawn, Shy by the Shadow, pretty much all comes from Elric. And then if you mix in, and this is what's cool about A Song of Ice and Fire, admittedly, this is why I love it. It's H.P. Lovecraft with a little bit of Dune, with a little bit of Elric, with a little bit of Conan, with a little bit of Lord of the Rings. I mean, A Song of Ice and Fire is just a really well done fanfic. Would anybody argue with that? It's a really well done, unfinished, never to be finished fanfic. Some people might get really mad, but it's that what I named off is pretty much everything Game of Thrones is. Yes, and based on I mix in the War of the Roses and a lot of historical stuff. Yes. I would argue with anything just because. Okay, Giles McCoy, I respect that. I respect that. I would argue just to argue. Fuck yeah. Fan fiction with penthouse letters. I'm not against that. I'm not against it. I'm just. Okay, so my theory, which I think I'm right, on why George can't finish. I know there's so many theories out there why he can't finish, but I think I'm right. So George, old school nerd, super liberal guy, old hippie guy, classic liberal hippie guy, nerd. So and he pined over like his first girlfriend and then his wife are like uber feminists. So kind of a male feminist, but like the old kind, still creepy. But kind of a normal liberal from back in the day. And he has been caught up in basically the uber leftist Marxist craziness that has gotten too much for him, although he is very guilty of letting most of that into the door of publishing. He has allowed a lot of the people who would come in and fucking cancel him right fucking now. So he's worried about that. I think in a lot of ways he feels like he can't write the book because, I mean, in his book, certain female characters have major plot armor, but others don't. And, you know, bad things happen to women just like they happen to men. It's pretty even, right? The problem is, and we saw this at Worldcon when he was doing his awards on the streaming service, and they wanted to cancel him for mispronouncing fucking names, like that kind of bullshit. But it's his fault because those are the kind of people he brought in. So that's one problem. The other problem is when you set out to write a response, he's never used the word subvert. I mean, that's what he means, but he's never, in my memory, ever used the word subvert Tolkien. It's a response to Tolkien. It's like, I'm going to do a Lord of the Rings where they tell you where they pay for everything. I'm like, okay, I think that's fine. I'm into it. Let's go. Problem is, when you have when you have a story where we're going to take the big bad guy who looks like Conan, and we're going to take our hero, you know, who could be Aragorn, and kill him and have their, you know, we're going to subvert the tropes and we're going to subvert expectations. I'm like, okay, I'm into that. But the problem is that eventually you still have to come around to having a traditional story where good guy wins, bad guy loses. And George is really good at having the bad guys win. Red Wedding. We still haven't, you know, the Starks here and there, but the Starks really haven't gotten any justice for the Red Wedding. And won't, because the man, well, not fully, because Tywin Lannister was killed by his son. Now there's still Roose Bolton, and a lot of people are hanging on just to see those motherfuckers get theirs, but they won't, because this is a nihilistic, grounded, real world, and justice doesn't happen like that. You can't do that in fantasy. You can't. You still have to have a satisfying conclusion that's based on some form of just very traditional storytelling, which George has never really done. I haven't gone crazy and read all of his books, but I've read Fever Dream. I know his writing on TV, and yeah, he's always had like ambiguous endings. His writing prior to taking on a fantasy book really favored being like a Twilight Zone writer. Newsflash, that's why it's called fantasy, you myopic manatee. I love the fucking rap battle. The epic rap battle between those two is fucking great. It's great. So that's part of the problem, you know. He used to be so, do you guys remember? He used to be so jealous of J.K. Rowling. So jealous. I'll find it in my next either in my next J.K. Rowling video or my next George R. Martin video. I will find it because I read his Not a Blog and his journal every day for years and years and years. So I remember reading that J.K. Rowling won the Hugo, something like the Hugo Award. It might have been the Hugo or something like it. And he was miffed. He still showed respect to her, but I mean, basically what he said, I'm summing up what he said, was my writing's so much better than hers. And you might think that, George, and you know, drinker isn't wrong. There's a lot of adverbs. And once that was brought up to me, you can't unsee it, but I don't care. I would say the world thinks differently. And, you know, honestly, like George, your writing it's great world building, wonderful dialogue. The characters you like Tyrion Lannister is one of the greatest characters in fiction, period. But you're no Tolkien. No Tolkien. No Tolkien. George doesn't have kids. By the way, chat. He doesn't have kids. He is known as by some as a childless weirdo. All right. Want some good news? Let's do some good news real quick. You guys all want to go see Goo? I want to see Goo. I think Goo's coming out next year, and I think Goo might be the best movie. And you know what? You're going, what are you talking about? What's a Goo? Goo is what you want to watch. You're going to want to watch Goo. You're going to want to watch Goo. Godzilla -0 marks next chapter for Toho's monster saga. This was last night. Toho has officially announced on Godzilla Day, by the way. Happy birthday, Godzilla. Has officially revealed the title of its next Gojira, featuring Godzilla -0. The announcement was made at the annual Godzilla Fest in Tokyo and confirmed via Toho's official X account. The film will be written and directed by and supervised for VFX by Yamazaki Takashi, who also has been signed by the Dodgers, because the Dodgers are signing the country of Japan. With VFX work by Shirogumi and production handled by Toho Studios and Robot, the same team behind 2023's Godzilla -1, which was a masterpiece. Toho Company Limited will produce and distribute. And yes, Godzilla -1 was a masterpiece. I've seen that movie 10 times. I adore that movie. It is fucking 10. No, I'm with you. You don't need to fight. We don't need to fight. It's 10 out of 10. You know how few 10 out of 10 movies we've gotten in the last 5 years? It might be the only one. I know Top Gun Maverick's pretty close to 10 out of 10, guys. But god damn, is that a good fucking movie. And I can't wait for the sequel. I wonder what the plot is to Goo. I agree, chat. I am curious. I love Godzilla 1998. You know, there's always some motherfucker. It's fine. Godzilla 1998 is not a Godzilla movie, but it's fine. 10 out of 11 out of 10. I see an 11 out of 10. You won't get a fight out of me. But damn, it is a good movie. I am stoked. Absolutely stoked on that news. We have other good news, if you care. I'm a Harry Potter fan. Ryan Kinnell is a Harry Potter fan. As a matter of fact, I'm a unabashed, unapologetic, massive Harry Potter fan. Anytime they do an illustrated version, they do the little pop-up book. I own all the books. I don't own a first print because it's too expensive. But I've got some pretty expensive versions of the book, but not a true first print, which I think go for $50,000 to $100,000. No, but huge fan of these books. We are, let me check. 7 hours and 5 minutes away from the full cast audio drama of The Philosopher's Stone. For us Americans, it's called The Sorcerer's Stone. It's obviously going to be abridged because it's only 8 hours and 41 minutes long. That's still pretty long. My only gripe is they have the narrator yakking throughout the entire fucking thing, which I'm just going to fucking hate. But I'm going to check this out. I might even do a video review on this. That's how much I like Harry Potter. So that's cool. Ryan, speaking of Ryan, he did a video about this. I think it's important we talk about this because you fine people in the chat, my contemporary content creators of all make shapes and sizes. I think one thing that has been a thesis for calling out the problems with our culture when it concerns pop culture, the pop culture war. I think one of the things we heard the most were, after, do they hate money? It's, why don't these actors just shut the fuck up? Do they not realize that they are destroying their industry? And for a lot of time, for a long, long time, until very, very recently, they had no fucking idea. They had no idea the damage they were doing to their industry. And some of us were telling them back in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and a fucking month ago in a video that you keep doing this and you're, as the kids say, cooked. You're cooked. You're done. You're alienating half the country. You're alienating half of your potential customer. That's on top of breaking your business model, oversaturating things with streaming, fucking over the theaters, stopping your entire industry twice within 5 years, and shoveling a bunch of shit into the movie theaters and on these streaming services where they're sewage services. But you could have survived all of that if you had shut the fuck up and acted. And nobody's saying you can't have your own politics. Nobody's saying I want every film to be Trump propaganda, because I fucking don't. But we said at the time, you weren't just going after Trump and his policy. You were going after everybody who voted for him, whether you thought that way or not. Perception is reality. Perception is reality. And it looks like arguably one of the dumbest adult pretenders in Hollywood, 9 years later, has figured out that this might not have been a good strategery. as George Bush would say. So if you want to like pat yourselves in the back and high five yourselves and take your victory lap for being right, because you have been for the last 9 fucking years, go ahead. And you know what? It's going to be no skin off your back. You'll just watch old movies. You'll just read old comic books. You'll just read old books. And you know what? You'll take their advice. You'll go out and touch grass and you'll enjoy something else. I love Hollywood. I can live without it. All of us can. And entertainment's not going away. Pop culture is not going away. It's changing. But Hollywood is not going to be the big dog anymore. And that reality is setting in. And at this point, we tried to warn you for years. You called us bigots. You called us Nazis. You called us misogynists. What we were was the paying customer. Jennifer Lawrence questions whether she should speak out against Trump now. What am I doing? You shouldn't have spoke out before, because the vast majority of people in Hollywood have not worked a hard day in their life. And even if they came from modest beginnings, if they've spent any amount of time in that culture of sludge, they are completely disconnected with the working man and woman, which Hollywood used to be entertainment for the working and middle class. Entertainment for the working man. The Oscar winner indicated she didn't want to alienate her audience. What? I'll be damned. You don't want to alienate your audience? Well, listen, love. It's a little late. I know you're the first female action star in the history of time. I mean, she predates Joan of Arc. The Oscar winner, I'm going to read this again, indicated she didn't want to alienate her audience. I don't want to start turning people off to films and to art that could change consciousness or change the world because they don't like my political opinions. Well, congratulations, Toots. You finally got there. It only took you a fucking decade. Right before you're going to hit the wall. And what were we saying? What was I saying? You intentionally or unintentionally piss off half the country. You alienate people. And where could Hollywood still sees themselves as far more important than they really are? But if where Hollywood did the most positive, where they created, I'm not going to say change, but where they did the most good was when they entertained people, put smiles on faces. That's where they do the most good, because you're bringing people together. They're forgetting about their worries of the day. And that's where it is important. And we really did appreciate it. And when you did stuff like that. And sure, you made movies that made people think. But they put way too much stock into that. Like, listen, I like the Dallas Buyers Club. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a really good movie. But this is the kind of movie they go, this is an important film. Dallas Buyers Club saved lives and changed culture. There are movies that change culture. They're very rare. They're very rare. And they put a lot of stock in that shit. But where you do the most good is when you make a fucking Star Wars, when you make a Raiders of the Lost Ark, when you make a Jaws, when you make a Hangover. That's where you're doing the most good. You're bringing people together of all backgrounds to have a communal experience where they laugh and had a good time or are thrilled with adventures. And, there's some people who still understand that in Hollywood, but it's fewer and fewer. And she's not wrong in one sense. Again, really late with her opinion, but she's not wrong. There are, the way art can convey a message or politics is to do it with some ambiguity, not taking a side, without preaching, and letting people decide for themselves, and remembering that all of your audience is not some homogenous thing that's going to have one opinion, or more importantly, you cannot choose your audience. The audience chooses you. And if you want to reach the most people as possible, it's through understanding. And what Hollywood did many years ago, 8-9 years ago, was chose a side. Now, we always knew what side they were on, but they never publicly proclaimed that they chose a side. And they chose a side. And it's just rich reading this little part right now. And me remembering back to 2020, 2021, and I'm sure Jeremy and Az and everybody will feel the same way who was doing stuff back then. Remember the shit we got. Remember, forget the personal attacks, right? It was the Hollywood's fine. You're fucking crazy. You stupid grifter. You don't know what you're talking about. You're media illiterate. That phrase wasn't around, but it was that attitude. Everything's fine. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. This is the best Hollywood has ever been. You can't kill this industry. It's invincible. It's always been woke. It won't affect them in any way, shape, or form. It's not important to our culture. Let them burn. All that shit we heard. All that shit we heard. And the only reason I'm into it and brought it up is because I cared. I gave a shit. I've been into this stuff my entire life. I am a nerd for this stuff. But the stuff, the ad hominem attacks, the just the denial that it was going on, I'm gonna admit, feels pretty good to hear this now. There's some people in life. I don't want to be insulting. I'm trying to choose my words very carefully here. There's followers and there's leaders. There just is. But there's also another aspect. There's just straight up independent thinkers, and sometimes, and they can be this way, they could just be contrarians. But there's just people who can like recognize bullshit early. For whatever reason. I got to give credit to the Fellowship 199. Everybody in the sphere is you're some of the people who could recognize the bullshit early, like very early. And it's taking a lot of people to come around. And I said it at the time. I'm like, listen, the normies are busy. It's going to take them a long time to come around. It took them a long fucking time to come around. But hearing this from the first female action star ever, it's still good. It's super late, but it's still good. When Donald Trump was first elected president in 2016, Jennifer Lawrence said her head exploded. And the former Republican who grew up in Kentucky, a state that voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, 2024, and will vote for him in 2028, or J.D. Vance, passionately spoke against Trump repeatedly during his first term. She is a fake. She either knew nothing about politics or had her parents' politics, was completely Republican until she got into LA and found out she wasn't supposed to have that opinion. So it's kind of like, and I, again, don't mean to. It's a lot like some people who get sober and become a sober Nazi. It's a like born again Christians. They get a little extra passionate. Well, she got a little extra passionate on the woke to cleanse her Republican and Kentucky past. She passionately spoke out against Trump repeatedly during her first term, even saying back in 2015 that if he was elected, it would be the end of the world. Lawrence supported Democrats' presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. Who has a very similar body count in number to Jennifer Lawrence, but that's only where the similarities end. It's a different type of body count. In 2016, and endorsed Trump's 2020 and 2024 opponent Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. She even knocked on doors for Harris in Las Vegas a year ago, just days before the 2024 election. But now, amid more of a reflective approach here, I'm going to just bring this over here. There we go. But now, amid a more reflective approach to her public comments and persona, she's questioning if she should speak out against the president. I don't really know if I should. You shouldn't. Lawrence told the New York Times on the outlet's interview podcast, during the first Trump administration, I felt like I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But as we've learned, election after election, celebrities do not make a difference whatsoever on who people vote for. Oh, I think they do. I think it's an adverse effect. So what am I doing? Am I sharing my opinion on something that's going to add fuel to the fire, that's ripping the country apart? We are so divided. And do you know who helped divide America? Jennifer Lawrence. It was you. You and your platform, your industry of Hollywood, who constantly, and I mean constantly, there wasn't a show, there still isn't in a large case, where there isn't something weaved into it that is anti-Trump. They don't say his name out loud, but it's there. It's absolutely fucking there in almost everything in popular culture. They've decided to dial it back, but not enough. And I said this back in November. I said it before November. Hollywood, you're going to want to go crazy in this second Trump administration. You're going to lose your fucking mind. But if you want to have an industry, you're going to have to shut up and act. You're going to have to shut the fuck up. And you're going to have to focus on entertaining people. But they can't help themselves. One battle after another is going to win 14 Oscars. It's a piece of shit. But they will see it as a middle finger to the man. Never mind the fact that they suck the man's dick all the time. That man being Newsom, Biden, fucking Weinstein. She's also indicated she's conscious of how her audience might react to what she says. Interesting. I think I'm in a complicated recalibration because I'm also an artist. You're an adult pretender. Schnookums. I guess that's art if you're really fucking good at it. She's all right. I don't want to start turning people off to films and to art that could change consciousness or change the world because they don't like my political opinions, she added. And I want to protect my craft so that you could still get lost into what I'm doing. And if I can't say something that's going to speak to the kind of peace or lowering the temperature or some sort of solution, I don't want to be a part of the problem. I don't want to make the problem worse. Well, a lot of your ilk didn't lower the temperature when you were when Charlie Kirk happened. Charlie Kirk's assassination did change everything. It some for good, some for bad. I think it reminded everybody that the culture war is very real, very fucking real, and we can have there's consequences. And maybe some people in Hollywood reflected on, you know what, maybe constantly calling Americans Nazis every fucking day wasn't a good idea. Thing is, you can't unmake the soup. You guys did it. And Hollywood, with their hysteria over Trump, putting all of the vitriol in news programs, late night programs, scripted entertainment, from what's left of sitcoms to procedural dramas to high-end streaming shows. Like, how many shows had a Trump allegory or some Trump issue allegory? How many have them today? What the fuck is The Boys? The Boys is the Stephen Colbert of superhero shows. It's nothing like the comic anymore. And when season 5 comes out, they're going to go, it's so timely. It's going to look like some dated shit. And I can't wait. But now that they're not putting anything out, and when they do put stuff out, most of it is shit. Nobody's buying their stuff anymore. And movie stars are actually coming to terms with not losing money, losing prominence. Losing notoriety, losing influence. Which drives them crazy. Plus, it probably doesn't help Jennifer Lawrence's, for Hollywood, getting up there. She's getting up there. Let's get this. The wall takes no prisoners. You are not wrong. You are not wrong. Steven Johnson's a new member. Welcome. Darkstar 76. Full cast Harry Potter is unabridged. Just looked. Regular book is 8 hours. Oh, okay. Oh, it's the first book. That's right, Darkstar. Thank you. It's a shorter book. Jackson Cagle is a new member. Thank you. And Jackson Cagle is gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships for $25. Thank you very much, brother. All right, we're going to get to some squaring up. I know I told Perry I'm going to do the Vox article. Maybe you could make that a daily instead, Perry. The Vox article is going to would take an entire stream. So I'm going to get to it. Maybe we'll save it for Real BBC tomorrow or Wednesday. The Vox article is the right is obsessed with Lord of the Rings, but they don't understand it. The bizarre conservative misunderstanding of the Lord of the Rings explained. This would take me an hour to go through, so we will do it. I will pick this apart. I know people have requested this, so I will listen. I will do it. I am happy to. Anytime these fucks come after you or Tolkien, I am here. I am his white knight. Yeah, it's Vox. I mean, like, honestly, it's Vox. And it is cringe. It is cringe. Hang on. I need my son to bring me some water. I just realized I took my 5-mile walk and I didn't drink any water. So I'm like, yeah. I think the Vox article would be a good thing to discuss with Mahler and Az. I think we could, we'd kill it. To go over Lord of the Rings, I will go over to Lord of the Rings. I miss our anniversary streams, so I might just bring them back and we just talk about it every year. And it doesn't have to be like a 20th anniversary. The 25th anniversary for Fellowship is next year. So I have big plans for that. I'm going to do a stream. I'm going to rent out a theater. We're going to do a meetup here in San Antonio. We're going to watch the trilogy. It's going to be it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. 25th anniversary next year. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? Okay, going back to Halloween. Garrett went as Jimmy Kimmel in blackface, and you know, got a little criticism from some very sensitive people online. Not surprising. And then like people got mad at me for my Mr. Terrific costume where I was wearing a mask that came with the costume. Thank you, son. Thank you, son. I'm very thirsty. I'm gonna burp. All right. And that was good times. But as I said last night, on my costume, and I checked, it did not say white people cannot buy this. So S-Man for $3 says, "Hey up from the East Midlands, UK. I'm drunk." Well, if you have to ask if you're drunk, the answer is yes. Devious Bard for $10 says, "Matt Walsh was right about the time Hollywood died, but neither he nor FNT got the reason right. It was hashtag Me Too." And this is an older super chat, X-Ray Girl, unless they sent it again. It was hashtag Me Too in 2006 to put women into positions of power and the studios that weren't qualified to be in it. I think that was a big miss from Matt Walsh, but if Devious Bard, you might be new, but if you go back through, I just did a supercut, The Rise and Fall of Woke Hollywood. If you go through pretty much all of my basically covering the fall of woke Hollywood videos, I mentioned Me Too. It's a huge factor. It wasn't 2006 though, a little later than that. And what 2006 was, it was a power play. And I've been talking about that for years, my bro, years and years, including but not limited to Mrs. Jar Jar Abrams forcing a CEO of Warner Brothers out so Jar Jar Abrams could sign a huge deal and then not fulfill anything. It was a massive, massive power shift. And it got rid of people like Roy Price, who did nothing wrong. He started Amazon Prime Studios. He's the one who originally got the rights to The Boys, Invincible, Man in the High Castle, Conan, and The Lord of the Rings. And then he was forced out over a dick joke at a party. So that's the kind of fucking bullshit that was going on. And one of the people, there was a group of women that conspired to get rid of him. By the way, guy did nothing. He's never been accused of anything other than being inappropriate at a party. I can't say all the movie stars that were involved, but Philip K. Dick's daughter was involved. It was a dick joke. It was pretty much a dick joke. And yeah, lost his job over it. And Has anybody said they're sorry? Has he gotten his job back? Nope. It's pretty fucked up what happened to that guy. It's very sad, but he's taking it like a man now, and he's doing better things. We have briefly DM'd, like very short DMs, but I wish him all the luck in the world, and it's very fucking sad that happened. But that's Hollywood. That's fucking Hollywood. The pieces of shit in Hollywood. So you're not wrong. Devious Bard, and an entire video can be made, and maybe I will, on how Me Too was a power play and it led to the woke era. Absolutely led to the woke era. It was a great way to get rid of some male, pale, and stale, and put some really incompetent women in charge and incompetent men. But I think I don't want to speak for Matt, but I think he just wanted to focus on the era and when pop culture died. I don't think he even thought he could go over all the reasons. But I will direct you once again to my Hollywood playlist. Go watch my videos. I mention it all the time, and I was mentioning it when nobody else would. When everybody was like so fucking afraid of Me Too, they were like, I'm not going to criticize. Like, fuck you. The infamous El Guapo for $5. These costumes are so epic that I just started watching late because of work, and I had to drop some money. I'll take the next Halloween off for sure. You guys and gals, keep it real, keep it fun. This is what life is all about. Hell, yep. It's about making people laugh. That's all we were doing. Our motivation for just about everything, if not everything, is to put a smile on your face. And we get to laugh too. Sometimes we get to laugh ourselves silly. I've laughed so hard on FNT, my sides have hurt. I've almost like yacked a couple times because I was laughing so fucking hard. And it's thanks to you guys. We get to do that. Get to be complete fucking retards. Now, people, listen, I didn't know. I knew Garrett's costume. I knew what mine was going to be, but it's no different than me being Captain African American before and Miles Morales. It's what I've done the last couple of years. I didn't know like so many other people were going to take it to like another level on Twitter, but I really don't care. If people are bitching about Brittany Venti, they don't know Brittany Venti. They just don't know what they're talking about with her. Her entire thing is to be offensive. And she's mixed race. Miso-son has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships. Mock Scott has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships. Bob the Lobster has gifted 5 Nerdrotic memberships. Jesus Davila has gifted 1. And John Platt has gifted 1. Thank you. Alucard for $2 says, Men in Blackface. Lone Wolf for $10 says, Disbrew, did you know there are female hormones in alcohol? That's why when men drink too much, they can't drive and talk nonsense. God damn, Az. New kink unlocked. Also, when you visit Akihabara it's called Akihabara in Tokyo, look up the Mandrake building and just cancel the rest of your plans, says Steve Norlander. Well, we will be going to Japan. we're going to Japan in May of next year. It's part of a tour. I don't have the link right now. It's with Wandering Wolf. And it's a it's a megalithic tour, so it's an ancient civilization tour, but we're also going out on the town at night, and we're also going to do like an anime hot toys part of the tour. And Ryan Kinnell is going, X-Ray Girl's going, Quarter Black's going, I'm going, Mrs. Nerdrotic's going, pretty sure Adam Krigler's going, and Michael Collins, Wandering Wolf. And that's who we're going to Egypt with in, holy shit, 12 days. 12 days. Hello from the shower. Are you listening in the shower, Dan Vask? That's weird. But okay. It's weird, but okay. For those going to Japan and able to consume alcohol, I have a recommendation. Asahi Extra Dry. You can thank me later, says Mark Dolly. All right, I'll tell the alcoholics, which is pretty much everybody I'm going with. Flem Nasty 11 for $19.99. I hope when they adapt Mistborn and Stormlight, they go with the arcane animated style instead of the stupid live action. I would hope they don't adapt anything. I'll be realistic for 3 years. Because if Hollywood's going to change, and it's not going to be every studio, but some studios might change, it's still going to take them 3 years. That's why they're fucking cooked, as the kids say, which comes from your goose is cooked. Because they can't change fast enough. They're not mobile enough. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $4.99. Can't believe X-Ray Girl actually dressed like that in front of her prime minister. As it starts with a wig and ends with a tuck-friendly swimsuits, don't get rid of your twig and berries. It might be too late. Dung is fun. That's what the name is. Sean Jackson for $4.99. Root beer barrels, candy corn. Oh, root beer. Why did I not recognize? Did I have a stroke? I might have had a stroke. I'm sorry. Root beer barrels, candy corn, and even circus peanuts. Real men like pineapple on pizza. Happy Halloween and God bless FNT. I do like root beer barrels very much. The circus peanuts are great. You can also get those at baseball games. Love candy corn, and pineapple belongs on pizza, along with jalapenos and Canadian bacon. How many Japanese women are getting pregnant this trip? Their population. Oh, these are split up words. Jesus Christ. X-Ray Girl. How many Japanese women are getting pregnant this trip? The population is in downward spiral. The crew is helping Japan. God bless you guys, LOL. Nicole Ackerman for $10. Gary, you may have got kicked out of a dozen high schools, but I had an IEP in high school. So is Game of Thrones the homage to Elric or a ripoff of it? What is an IEP? Got lost there. X-Ray Girl does zero editing on these, by the way. Zero. It is, I think it's homage. I don't think it's a ripoff. I think it's actually homage. But he borrows a lot. Dildak for $20. Best pizza, Domino's pan pizza with extra cheese, pineapple, banana, peppers. Then at home, add hot sauce, cream cheese, or sour cream. Marmalade jelly. Then more hot sauce. Dip in half butter, half honey. Candy corn is trash. How could you marmalade jelly? How could you call candy corn trash when you put marmalade fucking jelly on your pizza? Listen, I like pineapple on pizza, but I've got standards and limits. Marmalade jelly. You know what the best jelly is, by the way? Jalapeno jelly. jalapeno jelly. You put you get your everything bagel, put a little cream cheese, and then you put jalapeno jelly on top. You'll thank me later. Captain JPS for $2. Hottish or cross-dresser as or Chato. Well, pick your poison there with as or Chato. I mean, they're not here to be easy on the eyes for you, but they'll do it. She-Bulk, it's ma'am, not sir, says Tom Campari. And then for $5 more, Bane voice. She-Bulk to Ash Ketchum. I was wondering when you would break first your gender identity or pronouns. First time super. And I don't care if I use my real name, Hail FNT, from Croatia. Wakanda. It says Wakanda. Oh, Wakanda Cadavra. That's good. Going to a party as Raul Duke. Gonna have fun. Have fun, Lord Kamina. I'm sure you did. Gary audiobook is probably going to be one of the funniest things ever. He is half blind and illiterate. What could possibly go right? Aaron Pipes. That's good. What could possibly go right? Recently finished Disparu's Wheel of Time vids, despite never having read the books. I was so mad by proxy. I bought a well-loved copy of the book with the original art and have been loving it. Happy Halloween, gang. There you go. You got something good out of it. Luke Saturn. Eric K for $5. I would rather listen to talk about Natasha Hendrich in Species. I would rather listen to talk about Natasha Hendrich in Species. Who the heck cares about the show other than the panel? Which show? For Witcher? We do. But I mean, Eric, let's be real. Natasha Hendrich in Species, hot. But I mean, could you keep a 4-hour conversation going about tits? And just like one person's tits? I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. Is she still hot, Eric? Eric says, yes, I could. He's all, yes, I could, motherfucker. So how do you keep a 4-hour conversation going about one person's tits? Well, I mean, you just describe them perfectly slowly. You kind of start with the freckles, and then you talk about their buoyancy, how they act in water, how they look when she's running. Yeah, you could get 4 hours out of that. I think you could. The jiggle physics. Yeah, I think you can get 4 hours out of that. Ryan, how much for you to sing your theme song again? Tay-Tay for $2. Ask him tonight on FML. Tay-Tay. I bet you he would. Give Az a close-up so we can say, would you do me? I do me. Oh, Az had his mirror out right after the show. He did. Right after the camera's off, he's like, but seriously, I'm so hot. Great costumes. So Ryan. It is so Ryan. He had a good costume. I can't wait for the Yennefer 2, The Wrath of Hisrich, and the Yennefer 3, The Search for Ciri. Fucking. It's so ridiculous that they're like, if they find Ciri, this will happen. Like, what? Another thing, I just didn't want to get too much in the minutia because I didn't want to watch it again. But what they completely failed to do in this season is tell you why everybody's after Ciri. They gloss over it a couple of times. Emperor Amir wants to bet his own daughter because it will because their child will be of the elder blood, because Vilgefortz manipulated Amir. Now later on, he's not going to bet his own daughter. He actually lets her go in the books, but that's where he's at now. It's part of a prophecy, they say. They keep saying, but they don't tell you fucking why. You know, they at least tell you, like, because they have portals here, which would make it really easy to travel, which makes it useless to have these long journeys. But Vilgefortz is fucked up the portals and taken them over for most of the show. But once he's defeated, they have control of the portals anymore, and they just don't fucking use them. But the worst part of it all, to show like what a fucking idiot Lauren Hissrich is you have a really easy, poignant, emotional moment. Geralt's father figure, Vesemir, dies, and he hears about it, and all Liam can do is go. Liam's not a very good actor. And they just brush past it. And that's like low-hanging fruit, emotional moment. Imagine a movie called Rise of Superman, and the main character, Lois Lane, gets kidnapped, and Kara Zor-El rescues her because Superman got scared that his public image would be hurt for holding a girl. Said Judah for $10. Imagine a Superman movie where Superman's the hero. Didn't get that this year. Gary, One Piece live action cuts a lot of content. Yes, it does. As a fan, I wish you watched the anime or read the manga. Both superior in their own right. They probably are. The problem is, even Perry, who's a huge anime fan, and the one thing I noticed, I've watched a bunch of the anime. Tons of filler. Absolutely tons of filler. Yes, One Piece cuts out a lot, but I didn't notice it, and I thought it moved. The series moved really well, and I thought it was kind of a storytelling masterpiece what they did. We'll see. Not sure they can do it. Season 2, Netflix has a season 2 problem. Also has one of the best soundtracks. By the way, same music as who does the woman who does the Witcher music, which is pretty good. It's very good. But the One Piece soundtrack is a fucking banger. But I will go over it. They're redoing the anime, a streamlined version. I'll probably watch that, which will probably trigger One Piece fans. But man, 1,000 episodes is a lot to commit to. Akshay Patil for 100 Martian pesos. Why has no one been able to answer why Hollywood wants pregnant women to fight and die and then be motherly? What's the larger agenda here? That is a great question that we have asked. We have asked. And I think the answer, Akshay, is it's a kink. It's a kink because Hollywood doesn't like kids. They're more for abortion than motherhood. They see motherhood as being locked into indentured servitude. That's how most modern feminists see motherhood. And it's amazing. There are some actresses who become mothers and then they just leave Hollywood. And a bunch of actresses go, how could her career was on such an uprise. How could she do this to herself? And meanwhile, woman leaves Hollywood, raises her kid, and just face isn't full of plastic surgery. She looks absolutely beautiful and fucking happy and fulfilled. And they can't stand it. They can't stand it. No higher calling on this planet. But why do they like seeing pregnant women in battle? Because for one, a lot of the motivation behind it is this will piss off the chuds, especially with comic books. When they do it in comic books, their singular motivation is this is female empowerment. This will piss off the chuds. Now, most of the people writing and drawing these books are lesbian or gay and never will have kids and haven't been near a pregnant woman since they were inside one. So they wouldn't know that pregnant women cannot go to battle. Pregnant women could not go to battle. You know, women weren't free to run around. Well, I mean, because they, second-class citizens, but also because of their monthly friend, they couldn't like leave the house. They couldn't leave their castle. So the thought of like some warrior queen is absurd. Absurd. So they see it as female empowerment. There's examples of it in Into the Spider-Verse, which is a direct adaptation from Spider-Woman in the comic books. They also had a pregnant warrior woman in the Nova Corps comic books. They also have a pregnant warrior woman in the Wheel of Time, I believe. They have a pregnant warrior woman in Avatar. They have a pregnant warrior woman in One Woke After Another. And I know I'm missing stuff. And it's a fucking kink. They think it serves as female empowerment symbolism. Anakmaman Reviews and Rants for $20 says, I wanted to see Frankenstein in theaters. Unfortunately, the limited release did not include Wisconsin. Bummer. Yeah, Wisconsin gets left out a lot of stuff. And I live there part-time now in Anakmaman. Bummer. I loved the book since middle school, but I'll have to wait for November. I finally saw Weapons, though. Thought it was great. Fucking love Weapons. Glad you finally saw it in Aquaman. You will love Frankenstein. Frankenstein is, again, third favorite movie of the year. And I wish I could fucking own it in a steelbook. I wish they did a physical copy. They might. I mean, it's not like Netflix hasn't done them before. I don't know why they don't. It's so fucking retarded. It's not like somebody's not, if they buy one movie that you made, they're not going to subscribe to your platform. Stranger Things has a 4K season 1. Did they do season 2? I think they did season 2. But like if Bright was on 4K, I'd buy it. If Altered Carbon season 1 was on 4K, I'd fucking buy the hell out of it. Cobra Kai, I'd buy the entire series if it was in 4K. I'm glad you Frankenstein you will like. So I mean, fuck The Witcher. Not literally. In 4 days, you'll all be able to see Frankenstein and then get back to me and tell me what you think. Maybe you think it sucks, but I will warn you on this. It is not like high octane action. It is very much, it's not Hellboy, Guillermo del Toro. It is Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro. It is very sentimental. It is romantic and not in the gay way, but in like the old romantic as far as the era is concerned. It's very Victorian, but it's very Victorian through the lens of Guillermo del Toro, who is a true artist, like an absolute true artist. So I was honored enough to meet him, Jimmy Kimmel, many years ago, and he even has like a version. So Guillermo del Toro always carries around the sketchbook. I don't think it's the same one, but he has a sketchbook. He's an amazing like illustrator and artist that he throws all his ideas in there. I got to flip through that. He just handed it to me and I got to flip through it. And it was fucking awesome seeing like his sketches of Hellboy and Batman. And it would have been interesting to see his version of The Hobbit. I don't think it would have worked. And he got fired, by the way. He didn't leave. He got fired. I don't know why, but he got fired. But I've always been a fan of most of his work. Love Pacific Rim. Fucking love Pacific Rim. I know a lot of people were like disappointed at the, believe it or not, there was a lot of people who were disappointed with that movie when it came out. And I'm like, that was fucking awesome. For one, like it was 2013 and like here in America, we weren't getting anything kaiju at all, like at all. So I was desperate for it. But Frankenstein is, oh God, all the critics were saying it's very human. What it is, it's still very, it's art. It's art. So you're not going to get into too much of the ins and outs of how he becomes Frankenstein, but you are going to get to know him as a character and a person. And that's important. So it's a great character study of both Baron von Frankenstein and the monster. And it's very much father-son story about reconciliation, forgiveness. It tackles issues like same as the book, basically. Loneliness, longing for family, longing for connection. Where's our place in this world? Kind of thing. And really good effects, really good makeup. Best sets you'll see in a movie this year, and probably the best sets I've seen in a movie in the last half decade. Exquisite directing, some of the best editing you will see. I'm an editing nerd, so like maybe you won't notice. And I think his name is Jacob Elordi, who plays the monster, steals the show. Absolutely steals the show. He's fucking great. But so is everybody else. Oscar Isaacs is brilliant. Mia Goth, brilliant. Charles Dance is in it for a little bit. He's the GOAT. So, run, don't walk to your TV to watch it. See it, if you got a good home theater. I still think seeing it in the theater would be best, though. It is a visual feast. I fucking loved it. I can't wait to see it again. Can't wait to see it again. They should have released it before Halloween. Stupid. And I think The Witcher is the thing that like held it off. It's like, but it's more than a Halloween movie, right? So, but I love that gothic horror is making a comeback. Nosferatu, love Nosferatu, but I like Frankenstein a little more. I did. And it's probably because I like the story a little more, but tons of style with it. I hope when they I've read this one already. John Platt for £5 proper money. WDW Pro panel. We're talking about Disney's situation financially and that they're going to be releasing OG Star Wars trilogy, 70mm theatrical releases unaltered. That'd be that's a smart move. That's a very smart move. And that will chart. That will possibly be the #1 movie of the weekend, depending on how many theaters they release. Well, they can't because it's 70mm. If they just released the OG Star Wars, it would be top 5 and maybe the #1 movie of the weekend, depending on what time they release it. Some of y'all have never seen that. Oh, you're just transphobic. None of those guys look like they can fight, says Judah. I can't take it anymore. Here's $20 to make 3/4 Wesley sing "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal." We should have. Fucking commies, says Beefy 5-later husbando for $2. I just think a 5-layer burrito from Taco Bell. Axel Foley for $10. The Dalek seasonal appearance contract is actually a myth. This was debunked by Stephen Moffat and the Terry Nation estate. They are just allowed to use them. Well, there you go. Well, it has to be a myth, Axel, because they didn't use them. What isn't a myth, though, is Terry Nation estate does own the rights to, I believe it's the Daleks in, for lack of a better term, the idea of the Daleks, not the look. So back in the day, the BBC didn't think there would be a thing called, DVD and VHS. So they allowed their creators to retain some rights of characters, which was pretty cool, actually. So the Terry Nation estate controls the Daleks, but according to Stephen Moffat and Axel here, that they can use them whenever. I know Stephen Moffat didn't necessarily like to use the Daleks because he didn't know what to do with them, but I would argue one of the better Dalek episodes was his Asylum of the Daleks. That was fucking nuts. That was dark. That was a dark fucking episode. The reveal at the end, we did a watch party at my shop, and the reveal at the end, like, people gasped. I don't want to ruin it for you if you're not going to see it. Asylum of the Daleks, one of the best Dalek episodes, one of the best Stephen Moffat episodes. Doesn't get talked about very much because it's the opener for season 7. It is fucking dark. It's about as dark as Doctor Who could get. Woo! Eggs, yes. Souffle. And you know what, chat? That version of Clara would have been such a better companion. The one who was like flirty and fun. That would have been such a better version of Clara. The Matt Smith Dream Master episode is fantastic with Toby. What's his name? Toby. You know what I'm talking about. There are so many versions of Clara. You're right. The other good one was the Victoria one from the Snowmen, because she was kind of flirty too and fun. So the first 2 appearances of her were great, and it just went downhill, and she got more insufferable when we got like feminist Clara. But you know what's behind that, right, guys? So what happened was Stephen Moffat started getting a lot of criticism from fucking Karens, like the British version of Karens over there in the UK, being called a sexist, which is fucking retarded. And it bothered him. And he had to change up a lot of the writing because Matt Smith left. But he changed Clara a lot, because I remember reading a Doctor Who magazine where Clara was supposed to be a fun, flirty computer tech, and she never became that. And I know they changed a bunch of stuff behind the scenes, because my buddy who gave me all the information about the female doctor and how they're going to change the origin, he worked with a toy company. So he worked with he did the licensing through a toy company. So there was a bunch of toys, some they put out and some that they never put out, that were based on episodes that never happened. Like, I would have loved to seen the episode that had basically that reality gun. I don't know if the Doctor Who fans remember when this came out, but it was a gun, and they made it, and it was supposed to be in an episode, and it was a gun made of Cyberman tech, Dalek tech, and a weeping angel. And so you have like the stock from a Dalek with a Cyberman, hardware, and in the middle there's a little finger a cut off finger of a weeping angel. And what that gun does is it wipes you from existence. Like you were never, and as soon as you're gone, nobody remembers you. You're done. So it wipes you from existence. And it was the Church of the Papal Mainframe who had the gun. Because remember, it was after season 6, Matt Smith's doctor said, I'm going to lay low for a while. I got too famous. And I put a big target on my back. So we're going to let everybody think I'm dead. So during that off season, what was supposed to happen is a war between the Weeping Angels, the Daleks, and the Cybermen, because the Doctor's gone and it created a power vacuum, and they were going to have a big old fucking war, and it was going to decimate part of the galaxy. And the Papal Mainframe created that weapon to fight Weeping Angels, Cybermen, and Daleks. That would have been fucking awesome, right? But they had to scrap it. They had to scrap it. Now, I don't know how far they got in the planning phase, but they made a toy. And on that toy, here, let's see if I can find it. I mean, I have it. I just don't, it's in a box somewhere. See, that's not it. They changed it. The quantum lock accelerator. That's a later version. Now I got to find it because this one's different. Anti-time toy review. Mine was completely different from this. All right, so let's go to images. Hang on. There it is. Yeah, the QLA, the quantum lock. That's even better. There it is. Now, on these toys, they changed the descriptions a couple of times. My buddy told me, so I don't know. I doubt they're collectible, but I don't know if you have one with the old description or the new one, but basically that's it. So if you look, you can see the Weeping Angel finger in there. After the Doctor disappeared, the Cybermen and the Daleks went to war across the universe, and on each world they destroyed. They left in their wake stone angels, picked over the dead and dying. But the cleric army fought back and scoured the dead worlds left after the wars, looking for the wreckage of Daleks, Cybermen, and broken angels to create a hugely powerful anti-time device. A device part Dalek, part cyber technology, and use quantum signature from the angel trigger to gateway to pull enemies into the time vortex, erasing them from time completely. How rad would that story have been? Oh, well. The new season of The Witcher is amazing. Thank God Jerry Cavill is gone. Am I right, guys? Say hi to Eli. Oh, that was Eli. That was our boy Eli. Eli. If you haven't, subscribe to the Unsubscribed podcast. It's got donut operator Brandon Herrera, who's running for Texas congressional seat 23. Vote for him if you're here. And then Eli. Eli is like the gay one, but we love him. Thank you, Eli. I'm sorry I missed that. Am I right? Great costumes. If any of you is looking for a replacement for modern D&D, I could recommend Shadow Dark. It is apolitical and in the spirit of the 1980s D&D. There you go. Okay, so D&D, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a minute since I played it. Once I saw celebrities starting to play D&D, I knew it was ruined. I'm like, it's going to get fucking ruined. They fucking ruin everything. Stupid celebrities. And then it got woke and yeah. So somebody said Shadow Dark is incredible. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. JD DeLay is the fucking man. I got to chit chat with him. Motherfucker, you know, it's a different time. He's younger than I am, Dan, and he's from a different state, but he has like 30 plus felonies. I'd be in prison for the rest of my life. I have 2. I am not a celebrity. I am a retard with a microphone. The 14th Doctor, who is still on Earth, will combine with Billy Piper, who is Bad Wolf, not the Doctor, and complete the regeneration into a new Doctor. Ariel Kai, I think that's what will happen. So if they're doing a Christmas special next year, and I'll talk about this with Az and Mahler, if they're doing a Christmas special next year, then they have to have a Doctor picked by the end of this year, January at the latest. All right. So if you go back in time, when they picked Ncuti Gatwa, it was right around January. When are the BAFTAs? So it's February. Okay. So here's my prediction. We will have a Doctor for just that Christmas episode chosen before February. It will probably be David Tennant, who in canon is alive, but any Doctor can come back due to bi-generation now, but he retired. So he's with Donna's family. So they'll probably bring him back. Catherine Tate, Billy Piper, get the crew back together, except for Mickey, and do a Christmas special. And that'll be like a swan song. Russell T. Davies will probably extend the middle finger to the fans again, and then do some Bad Wolf stuff. And then it's on to whatever they do next. This needs to work because they need to sell the show, because BBC can't afford to do it on their own. They can't. They just need to let it go. You know, if they had balls, which they don't, you erase everything after Peter Capaldi, and you could get some of your audience back. You'll never get your whole audience back. But they still don't think, they being the BBC and Russell T. Davies, they don't think they've done anything wrong. Because of Wintertime in Germany, I missed the beginning. I initially thought Gary was David Hasselhoff. Maybe I'll be David Hasselhoff one year. Ride the Hasselhoff. Fucking SpongeBob movie is great. Think you're cool with a little Jew fro, says Low IQ Mega Culture member for 20. Yeah, actually. That's just hair like Jeremy's. Jeremy's got a natural Jew fro. Hey, Gary, what's your favorite race? Mine's the marathon. The marathon. The 14th Doctor, I read that one. If someone eats out as he is, call it green eggs and ham. Jason, what is wrong with you, dude? Why would you even bring something like... I now have that. Now we're all disturbed, Jason C, for $4.99. I hope you're happy. Oh my God, I'm disturbed. Benjamin Flensborg for 50 Danish krona. We need to import Muslims that live on our tax crowns to grow our economy. Hey, did you hear Elon on Joe Rogan? He made a tweet about this, and he's actually right. And I'm gonna destroy it, the joke. But it goes something like this. Two economists are walking around. One economist tells the other one he'll pay him $100 to eat a pile of shit. The guy eats a pile of shit. Then the other economist pays the other guy to eat a pile of shit for $100. And then they go, well, we just ate 2 piles of shit, but you've put $200 into the economy. Although Elon is really for those H-1B visas, which I'm not against them, but I think they should be stopped for a while. For a while. A good long while, maybe. Leave the bold man alone. He just wants to be beautiful, says Judah for $5. Gary's white Mr. Terrific costume is my favorite. Pathetic how modern Mr. Terrific is another lame black deadbeat dad who stole a white man's mantle. Yep. Terry Sloan. Don't forget Terry Sloan. No one cares who Az was before he put on his lipstick. I'm supposed to say it like Bane. It's not very good, but I did. Nice old Greg costume, Az. Hey, Gary, where can I find a good audio version of Lord of the Rings, and who is the ideal narrator? Like online, preferably. Well, Robert Inglis, but Andy Serkis is great. And if you're just what sucks is I want the Harry Potter audio thing. I would love to have a physical copy of that. Not just an audible copy, but a physical copy. The best Lord of the Rings audio is the BBC Lord of the Rings, which you can get on eBay. And I think you can still get it on Amazon. And they did CDs, cassettes. I have both versions. Andy Serkis reading, they do not have a physical copy of that. Robert Inglis, they do. But Andy Serkis reading it is fantastic. Panel's thoughts on Shelby Oaks. I don't think any of us saw it. And I don't plan to, Tay. Drinkers reviews out there, though. Hearing about Angry Joe crash out reactions towards Jeremy over Halo Trump makes me wonder if he really is gay. After all, AJ is already lame. I think he's just part of the LA scene. I mean, who knows? Wasn't he part of Channel Awesome? Yeah, like I went back and checked out his channel, and he still has the channel trailer because he has a catchphrase. You done fucked it up. You done fucked it up. That was his catchphrase. But that was in the early days of YouTube where you could be, I mean, you still can, let's be real, a functional retard and make it on this platform. I mean, I'm proof. Angry Joe, I mean, it just comes off as emotionally weak. Like you're an emotionally weak person. You might not like the memes and stuff, but to have like this hysterical meltdown like you're some kind of fucking woman, although I'm being disrespectful to women because women wouldn't have a meltdown like that. That's unique to Joe, I guess. I know he's Angry Joe. He's supposed to be angry. And he done fucked it up, and he's got a catchphrase. I think it's kind of cringe. And I know he probably thinks, if he knows who I am, which I'm not going to assume, probably thinks I'm cringe too. And I don't care. His takes on Star Trek shows are absolute shit. I remember when I was on Tim Full. I was on Tim Full, and Tim's like, I like Picard. And I stared him straight in the face, and I'm like, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. The show's an abomination, which it was. Which it was. This is for Ryan's Ice Ketchum. Also, Gary, it was awesome to meet you last weekend at SpaceCon. Hail, brother, at San Antonio. Hail the 300 strong Spartans. Thanks, Ripaverse crew, that made it possible. Hail, Kostaki. Ripaverse crew is great, really nice people. We had a very good time at the SpaceCon. I remember early days. They got their con game down, absolutely down. You know, for a guy who's always failing, his booths get better every year. There's a better position for him every year. He's still putting out more stuff. Still keeping himself in the zeitgeist. People still love him. If we could all fail like that. Oh, well. Oh, well. I mean, you could always do the alternative, which is getting life advice from a guy whose only area of expertise is how to burn down your YouTube channel and make alimony payments. I mean, that's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. Az has come at grot bags. What does that mean? Big Albowski. I don't even know what that means. Why did Az get replaced by Jim Sterling? Oh, no. Oh, no. Az looks like Mahler's Veilguard character. You're not the first person who said that, Daniel Moore. One of the first times I participated in Halloween here down under. Had a great time with the kids. Sad to see one asshole kid steal all of my treats. There's always an asshole kid. Not in our neighborhood, though. Our kids were fucking awesome. And we had the best house. Melissa killed it. She decorated the house. We still have a 20-foot scarecrow with pumpkin head animatronic, which I could just keep around the house all year. I don't care. Cactus for $15 says, hey, Gary, I know it's off topic, but I was curious if you guys might do a Forbidden Frontier looking into some of the strange happenings that went around Kirk's death. I'd like to hear more about it and your thoughts. I could go down that rabbit hole, but I'm pretty sure a trans furry gay dude killed him. I don't understand. I've heard the conspiracy theories, but I am not convinced. Israel would have a reason to kill him. TPUSA would have a reason to kill him. The Mormons would have a reason to kill him. I mean, that's just getting a crazy town. And I listened to David Icke. I think we pretty much saw what happened. I think we pretty much saw what happened. Now, if we want to get into, you know what I'd love to, now I will do a show on like how we don't know shit about the guy who shot at Trump. That's some fucking weird shit. There's plenty of weird shit out there. I just don't think Charlie Kirk is the thing. I just don't. And some of the, like with Candace Owens and all, That stuff is just so fucking ugly. It is fucking ugly. And I get the internet. I've been around the internet for a long time, and I know it's not the nicest, most pleasant of places. And I've gone down some crazy conspiracy rabbit holes that I still believe to this day. But that shit's ugly. Like it's, I don't. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Cup of Joe for $13.99. Have you guys seen Last Samurai Standing trailer? I haven't. It looks awesome. Live action samurai battle royale. The choreography looks amazing. Plus tons of Shad's favorite swords, the katana. No sparkle vampires though. It looks good, and I'm gonna watch it. We got Harry Potter audio dropping tomorrow. We have Landman season 2 dropping in 2 weeks. We have Fackham Hall opening December 5th. What was I just thinking about? I was thinking about something else is coming out very, very soon. I forgot what it is now. But we have some good stuff coming up. We do. Fackham Hall looks fucking awesome and funny. Last Samurai Standing looks great. But Landman season 2, fucking can't wait. Does Mickey pay rent to Gary or have squatter rights? It's squatter rights. Comic Accurate Joe for $11.99. So I was watching a clip and I thought it was a scene of Xena, Warrior Princess. Turns out it was The Witcher. I have never seen The Witcher. Guess I will just watch Xena again. Watch Xena again. Because Xena's awesome. So we're wrapped up there. We are wrapped up. I have to order some food. I am starving. Logan Johnson is a new member. Welcome. DD67, been a member for 9 months. Watch Pacific Rim in the cinemas. Was awesome. I completely agree. I fucking loved it. I watched it at Comic-Con. It was Comic-Con 2013. Rebellion 765 became a YouTube member. Thank you. Thank you all. You're wonderful. I am going to go get some food. Oh, and Ryan's starting up. Let's see. When is he starting up? I don't think I have a. Oh, it started up. Here, I'm going to give the link. I'm going to give the link right here. So if you're on Rumble or YouTube, please go see. Tell him Gary sent you. Go watch Ryan Kinnell and Vera Dark. Fuck my life. It'll be a great stream. I'm going to eat. So thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. I appreciate you all. And we'll be back on Az's channel tomorrow. I'll be back for the real BBC. Just released a Witcher video. If you don't have to watch the show, just watch our video. And then, yeah, more stuff. Thank you again, guys. Remember, not all who wander are lost. And may the wings of liberty never lose